In today's video, we unbox and build the Battle System Shantytown core set for dystopian and post-apocalyptic tabletop gaming. Well, hi folks, and welcome to the channel. I'm Lee, your old hammered host. I'm here with Lynn.
Hello.
And today we're going to unbox and build the Shantytown core set from the Battle Systems Urban Apocalypse line, which looks like it could be a great fit for games like This Is Not a Test, Wreckage, Across the Dead Earth, Fallout Wasteland Warfare, or perhaps even the upcoming Ash Wastes expansion for Necromunda, depending on what that turns out to be.
I get to build something. I get to build something.
Yeah, so actually I had purchased this set back in November, and it's been sitting on the floor in the office.
Hiding from me, hiding from me.
And I had to fend Lynn off a few times so she wouldn't whisk it away and build it. But since we have some dystopian hellscape type battle reports in the works, now seems like a good time to finally unseal the box and construct our post-apocalyptic shantytown. So Battle Systems is a UK company that makes, among other things, the core space sci-fi miniatures game, which is kind of a war game, board game, RPG hybrid as I understand. Battle Systems also makes an extensive line of full-color tabletop terrain sets for fantasy, sci-fi, and urban settings. The fantasy buildings in particular are really amazing, like something out of Lord of the Rings. Unlike some of the fantasy buildings, however, our Shantytown set is modular, meaning we'll be able to create a lot of different buildings using the same components. Also, kudos to Battle Systems for producing a veritable library of tutorial videos for their terrain sets. We've watched a couple already to get the gist of things, and that should speed up construction tremendously. So 357 pieces, modular, and no painting required. This box contains everything you need to build a multi-level gaming board covering an area of 2 by 2. All the pieces are modular and can be assembled in any combination you choose for a different setup every time. The set can be expanded with other sets from the Battle Systems terrain range. The terrain is supplied flat-packed on high-quality, high-density card, printed in full color on both sides. Some smaller parts will require glue. All right, well, let's check it out.
Open says me.
All right, opening. I can tell this box is densely packed just from the weight of it. Okay. These are the clips we're going to need to construct most everything except for a few smaller pieces that are going to be held together by white glue. So those are our clips. Here is the neoprene mat.
I like that.
So there's a closer look at the 2 by 2 wasteland mat that's included with the set. Pretty cool. Nice neoprene mat there. And the rest of the box is filled with these cards, these two-sided full-color cards, and these are the pieces we're going to punch out and then clip together to make our shantytown. So there's quite a few. You'll see a lot of these are pretty similar, but you can construct them in different ways. Here's some colorful pieces. There is a vending machine, a double bed, a sofa, a broken screen, a mailbox, ride, postman, ride. If anyone gets that reference, leave me a comment in the comment section. Here's some signage for various services and stores. Shipping containers, crates, and boxes. Okay, so that is what our 357 pieces look like when they're still on the card. So here's a closer look at the stack of cardstock sheets that's included in the set. And frankly, I have to commend them on doing a great job of designing and nesting all this stuff to get all those buildings and accessories in a relatively small package. So with that, we're going to collect up all our pieces here, take them downstairs, and start building our shantytown. And we will show you some of the key phases of the construction so you can see how it all comes together. Are you ready?
Yep, let's go.
Okay. So here's a closer look at some of the clips we're going to need. They come in a variety of configurations. There's straights, T's, plus signs, and a few others in there. And we have put down the 2 by 2 mat that came with the set. It's a little bit lumpy, but we wanted to show you kind of what it looks like on the table, and also give you a sense of how the terrain kit fills it up once it's all assembled. And I'm pretty sure there's at least one other, probably more, urban apocalypse sets that you can buy to kind of add on to this. So this is not the only set available. All right, we're going to start by stacking the various cards by type. so as to not get everything mixed up. So mixed scatter items, shanty accessories, shipping container. It's sorted. Well, should we go with the walls first?
Walls and floors.
Walls and floors. And I'm happy to say they pop right out, so we don't have to fight with them too much. Making a pile of walls. A pile of walls right here. Closer look at one of the wall sections. Nice detail. And the parts are clearly labeled, so there's a control strut right there. There's a regular strut. So what's going on over here? Floors, I guess, huh?
Floors and roofs.
Floors and roofs. And then there's a barrier. So here's something I saw on one of the tutorial videos. So here are some windows that they just popped out. So I guess you could choose to leave that in place, but it pops out. And some do not, so don't get aggressive about trying to pop all those out because some are meant to stay intact. Okay, our plan here is to build a building or two or perhaps three really quickly. Then we'll go off camera for a while and kind of finish up anything else we need to finish. And hopefully by the end of that process, we will have a complete shantytown to show you. So here's a closer look at the kit components. That's a lot of pieces. And then here is a sample shantytown. And I guess if our imagination fails us, we can steal some ideas from here. So I see a lot of two-story structures and even a shipping container off to the right that's on top of a building. So in choosing your floors and ceilings, you have a couple of options. So this is a floor and or ceiling tile. All right, I'm just going to go nuts and start clipping things together haphazardly. So this shantytown might be a little more ramshackle than usual. All right, joining two floor sections. I think that's a floor. Let's see what Lynn is doing over here. All right. So you're using the angled clips for the walls and the straight clips for the floors, though there are some T-clips that could go in there too if you wanted to do a center wall. Lynn is building faster than I am. I'm going to take walls at random. I'll take one of those, take one of those, let's see, one of those, and then you sort of have to decide which pattern you want. Clips in place, installing the wall. There we go. Okay, so the first wall of my building has been installed, and you can see there's an additional clip here in the middle to kind of hold everything together. So it is pretty sturdy so far. So one of the things they showed in the tutorial was that you don't have to attach the floors. You could have the building be completely removable, but if you want to attach the floor using clips, you can do so, which holds everything together pretty nicely, but also raises it off the ground just slightly, which I think is a pretty good look, actually. Did you draw all the requisite permits for a two-story shanty?
I did. I had to bribe
the bartender?
Yeah, I had to bribe the bartender first, though.
The bartender slash sheriff slash mayor. So at first, I spent a little time sort of worrying about which pieces I was installing, and then I sort of figured out it doesn't matter. You can kind of put any piece in any configuration, and most of the time it works. You have to make critical design decisions like, does the vent go on the top or on the bottom? We'll say that is a top-mounted vent. So this is the Mutants Social Club that you're putting together here, right?
Yep.
Pretty fancy. So I got really aggressive in my use of clips in my engineering here, but we're running out of clips. So I hope that doesn't limit our building options moving forward. I think we need to watch another tutorial video so we know how to most efficiently use our clips, because we're using a lot of L clips and not so many T clips and X clips, which we now have more of. So we'll have to figure out the benefits of using these here. All right, I figured it out. You swap out some of the L clips for these T clips, then you can add struts and things on the outside of the building. So that's what those are for. So this appears to be some sort of open air food market, I think. So you can get your rad scorpion, your iguana bits, your mango fruits, all kinds of things. Pretty cool. So you opted for 2 stories, but no wall on the second story on one side.
They just throw plastic over it when it rains.
Right, just have a tarp, a little visqueen, keep the rain out, keep the radioactive dust storms out of the food market. Okay, I got a roof on my building, but this is probably not the most efficient way to do it. So my rookie mistake is I was trying to use every clip possible to hold it together in the most sturdy fashion, but you don't really need to do that. Another thing to keep in mind is there are lots of options for customizing your building once you got the walls and the roof up. So for example, here is a roof extension, and I'm going to see if I can add this sign as well. Okay, here are our first 2.5 buildings, though one of them isn't quite up to code yet. Yeah, I think the builds might have gone a little quicker had we spent some more time watching the tutorials, but that's okay. Part of the fun is figuring out how to use all the accessories that are included here. So there's signs and struts and overhangs and all kinds of things. And so you sort of have to get in there and play with it to figure out how that all works. Anyway, we're going to take a little time off camera now and finish up our shantytown. When we return, we'll give you a complete tour of our wasteland settlement, trading post, and food court. Okay, full disclosure, during the construction of our shantytown, we kind of leaned into the over-engineering, and so we used up all the clips that came with the box set. So I had to order another set of clips through Amazon, and hopefully this will give us enough to finish out our buildings. Now, I presume you could build the entire core set without getting extra clips, but we just went nuts with the floors and the walls and things like that, making sure everything was structurally sound. So we used up all our clips. So now we have some extras here and we can finish up. Okay, folks, we are back. And after a little bit of trial and error, and of course waiting for our extra clips to show up, we have finished our shantytown here, which Lynn says is the outpost town of Dystonia. So Dystonia it is. This is where wasteland travelers can stop and get a shot of gin and some iguana bits and rad scorpion meat before heading out into points unknown. Now, I will admit that despite our best efforts, we did end up with some extra parts. And I think part of the challenge is there's a million different ways to build this kit out. And so you just kind of pick a style and kind of go with it. And then eventually you run out of clips or pieces or things like that, and your town is finished. So we could have built this a lot of different ways. This is the layout we went with. So let's take a quick tour of the town of Dystonia. So of course we have a gatekeeper here to keep out the riffraff. He wants to make sure that anybody who comes to town has something valuable to trade.
And in case they think they can overpower the guy at the gate, we do have the people in the lookout tower with their guns as well.
That's correct. Usually somebody up in the crow's nest, and hopefully he's not drunk on duty. So here's the local food court, and as you can see, the kit comes with a lot of scatter pieces. So we have a sofa, a couple of chairs, a refrigerator, flat screen TV. So once you get your nachos or whatever, you can retire to the rooftop patio and enjoy the spectacular view as the sun sets over the radioactive horizon. So this building here is what passes for the local quick stop and grocery store. So this is where you can get your ammunition, your liquor, your smokes, stim packs, power cells, whatever you might need before heading out into the wasteland. And while you're in Dystonia, don't forget to get a nice cold mug of Chug, the wasteland's favorite soft drink. And here's a little area in the back where maybe the local crime boss holds court, or perhaps it's just where you go when you're having a wasteland hot dog and need a place to sit. The Shantytown kit also includes a lot of little architectural extras. So for example, here is a cooling unit you can put on one of the roofs. So the end result, I think we're pretty happy with. It did take a little finagling at the beginning when we kind of just dove into it without a lot of knowledge about how everything fits together. However, once we built a building or two, then things started to fall in place a little more rapidly, especially once we got our extra shipment of clips. So that was probably our rookie mistake going into this, is we were not stingy with the clips at the beginning of the construction. And so we kind of ran thin. And then once we got our resupply, then it was like, oh, okay, we can build this out pretty easily now. So Lynn, what is your favorite part about this kit?
I like all the scatter terrain that comes with it. Plus, you can build it out in so many different ways, so no two shanty towns will be alike.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think if you gave 100 different sets to 100 different people, you would get 100 different shanty towns. I don't think they could mimic each other even if they wanted to, simply because of all the different pieces and possible configurations. So it's got chaos built right into it. All right, folks, we hope you enjoyed this look at the Battle System Shantytown core set, and we're very excited to have this built out because we have some post-apocalyptic type games in the works for the very near future, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves as always, and we'll be back very soon with some more tabletop wargaming goodness. So until then, see you soon.
See you soon.